Good morning, everybody. Welcome to StoryCraft. I'm Miss Emily. As always, I have a book and a craft to show you today. And today's book is a brand new book here at the library. It is called Clever Little Witch, and I'm going to apologize in advance because I am totally going to mispronounce the author's names. It's written by Mun T. Van and Haiwan Yum. And again, I am so sorry that I did not pronounce that correctly. This book is called Clever Little Witch, so let's get started and then I'll show you the craft. Clever Little Witch. I'm Little Linh, the cleverest witch on Mai Mai Island. Do you know what every clever little witch needs? 1 trusty broomstick. 2, a well-worn book of powerful spells. 3, a rare and magical pet. Do you know what a clever little witch does not need? A baby brother. A baby brother will ride your broomstick without permission and cry when he falls off. A baby brother will eat pages from your spell book and spit them up on your favorite cloak. A baby brother will use your mouse as a flashlight and keep you awake for hours. I do not like baby foo one bit. I offered baby foo to the troll beneath the bridge, but he said, "Thanks, but no thanks." The last baby brother gave him hiccups for a week. I offered baby food to the forest fairy queen, but she said, "No way." She liked using baby's breath in her potions, but dirty diapers made her sneeze like crazy. I offered baby food to the orphanage for lost and magical creatures, but they returned him right away. The werewolves could not sleep with him around. If I can't give my brother away, then I'll keep him, after I change him to something nicer, like a goldfish. I got out my big book of spells. Gold bars, gold earrings, goldfish. Oh no! Baby Foo had eaten half the spell. Still, I'm the cleverest little witch on Mai Mai Island. I can guess what the other half is. I aimed my wand at my brother and said, "From the tip of your nose to the top of your toes, bubble eyes, marble size, let me see those fishy eyes." But something went terribly wrong. Baby Foo did not become a goldfish. He became a frog. A croaking frog that hopped onto the table and spilled potion everywhere. Let's try this again. From the tip of your nose to the top of your toes, splashy flips, puckered lips, let me hear those fishy sips. But something went terribly wrong. Baby Foo didn't become a goldfish. He became a seal, a barking seal that knocked over the crystal ball and chased my mouse. I tried one more time. From the tip of your nose to the top of your toes, slippery wriggle, scaly jiggle, and let me feel that fishy wiggle. But something went terribly, terribly wrong. Baby Foo didn't become a goldfish. He became a dragon, a huge, scowling dragon that stole my wand. I jumped on my broom and flew after it. The dragon's tail smacked my broom. The broom wobbled. The broom zigzagged. I was going to fall. Help! There was a loud crash. The broom lay on the ground, but not me. The dragon had grabbed me right before the broom hit the ground. The dragon put me down gently. Then it did something amazing. It changed into my baby brother. "Witch's pigtails," I said. "How did you do that?" I'm lucky to have a baby brother. right? I don't know, having a baby brother that's a dragon would be very, very interesting situation. So I hope you guys liked the book, and now I'm going to show you how to do today's craft. So since baby brother Fu turned into a dragon, I thought it would be really fun if our craft today was a dragon. And I know we've made some dragons before, but this one is different. So the first thing you're going to need is a cardboard egg container, and you're going to need your grown-ups' help to do this because you're going to cut out the little containers, each one of the little cups where the egg sits in the container. Now I've gone ahead and cut them out already because it takes a little bit, and I've already painted mine green because I want to make a green dragon. You guys can paint or color, use markers or crayons, however you want to make them colored, you can do that. You can use paint, like I said, markers, and you can do any color you want. I just decided to do a green dragon since the dragon is green in the book, but we know dragons can come in all kinds of colors. So do whatever color you like best. So the other thing you're going to need is a hole punch and or some scissors. You're definitely going to need your grown-ups' help with that. Some string. I found some fun green string here that I think will work nicely. I have some glue. I have some googly eyes. If you have some googly eyes at home to use, you can do that. If not, you can cut out some eyes on a piece of paper and glue that on instead. I have a marker. I have some orange tissue paper. I only have orange. If you have orange and yellow, that will work well. And then I have a white piece of paper. So the first thing we need to do is decide which of our cups is going to be the head of our dragon, and that's going to be this one, I think. This one looks a little bit bigger than the rest, and I sort of have them, I did that by accident. I sort of have them from biggest to smallest here. So this end is going to be the head, and I'm going to make this end the tail. So what you need to carefully do with your hole punch is you only need one on the back of the dragon's head, but then on each of the middle cups, you want to do one hole punch on each side of the cup. And you guys can do as many or as few cups as you want. I just grabbed a handful after I cut them all up, and this is what I have. So again, I'm just cutting, I'm just doing some holes. They don't have to be perfect. All right, and then on the piece that's going to be the tail, you just need to do one, like you did for the head. Okay, so now you want to take some string. I'm going to cut a pretty long piece. You want it to be at least as long as your dragon, because this string is going to be what holds the body of your dragon together. So I'm going to start at the head. I'm going to carefully put my string through, pull it through, and then I'm going to make a knot. I'm going to like tie it onto my dragon here. Just going to do a double knot just to make sure it stays. And then I'm going to kind of wiggle it around so that the knot is inside, and I'm going to cut off some of this extra because right now I do not need that extra. So I've got one piece tied on. So now I'm going to come to the other end of my string, and I'm going to thread it through the holes on each one of my other cups. So I'm going to bring it through there and then through there. So it's kind of like lacing. If you have ever done little lacing cards, you're just going to lace it right through the holes. Whoa. Takes a little bit. There we go. There's this one. And now I'm to the tail. So now, just like I did at the head, I'm only going to put it through once. And I'm going to try to pull it tight. And I'm going to cut off the excess because that'll be easier to work with. You may need to hold your dragon up a little bit. Let's see if I can show you what I'm doing. You may need your grown-ups' help for this. This gets a little bit tricky. I'm going to tie another knot onto the dragon's tail. Well, not onto the dragon's tail, but onto the string going into the dragon's tail, just like I did up at the head of the dragon. So there we go. I can shimmy that around so that's all inside again. Cut off this extra. Oops. There we go. And now, I have a dragon that will wiggle and worm. Okay, so next I have his head. So I'm going to come over here with my glue. Actually, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to snip a little bit off of each side of the cup. Probably should have done this before I tied it together, but this just helps to accentuate that this is his head. And actually, that cup is already cut out there on that side. So now you can really see this is going to be his mouth and his face here. So now I'm going to get my glue. And I'm going to use a little bit of glue and put one googly eye on. And I'm going to use a little bit of glue and put the other googly eye on. There we go. So now he's got his eyes on. I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to draw some nostrils on him. So there's his nostrils. You're kind of looking like a dragon yet? All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white paper and I kind of want to line it up with his mouth. So if you can see, I put him on the paper and I've lined him up, and I'm going to draw some teeth. And that should work. So there's my dragon teeth. So now you want to cut them out. And you want to leave a little bit of a tab behind, because that is how we'll glue them. And then carefully cut out all the zigzags for his teeth. So there's his teeth. I want to put them in a little further. I want to do it like that. So I'm going to put some glue on the edge of the cup here. And this glue will dry clear. So if you get a little bit of extra glue on places, don't worry about it. It will dry clear and you won't be able to see it. So now he's got his teeth. So the next thing I want to do is take my orange tissue paper, and I have it folded so I have a couple layers here. But you probably don't want to do that actually, now that I think about it, because that would be really hard to glue. I'm just going to cut out one rectangle. And let's see. I'm going to cut the corners off like this so that he fits better. Yep. All right, so now that I have this kind of a shape, it's kind of like a little house, I'm going to come at the wider end, and I'm going to cut some strips. So now I have some strips. I see that. And again, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the underside of my dragon, right out here under on his teeth. And I'm going to flip him upside down. And I'm going to press down to glue him onto the tissue paper, because now I have a fire-breathing dragon. So there is the basic dragon. And you guys can probably see I recommend putting something down on the table because I have got glue everywhere. So here's my basic dragon. Now what you can do, I happen to have some sequins and things. If you wanted, you can take some glue and decorate your dragon. You can make him sparkly. Whoa. I think a sparkly dragon is cool. You're sticking to me. So blue. You could take some paper and make some triangles with little flaps to be spines down his back, like if you wanted to do triangle and then leave a little flap like that. You might want to do this in green paper, or you want to color in your white paper. You could totally do that. So again, this is almost kind of like that house shape. And then if you leave a flap and you put glue, oops. So I cut out the house shape and folded it, so now I have this kind of a shape. You can take it, and depending on which way you want it to go, you can stick it this way. So that now he kind of looks like he's got a mohawk. You could do it this way. Now it looks like he's got a horn coming out of the top of his head. You can do all kinds of really fun things with your dragons. You could even, and I'm just going to do this real quick, so they won't be the best, but I'm going to cut some curved lines and make them come to a point. And I could find a way to glue some wings onto my dragon. Actually, I think if I make this a little bit smaller, there we go. I could glue them underneath to be a wing on the dragon. I could do a little flap and glue it on the side. So like here's my little flap. Put a little bit of glue. Now if you want to do it this way, you're going to have to hold it for a second to get it to stay. It doesn't want to stay for me, but you get the idea. You can make a wing for him. You could have wings. You could use pipe cleaners and have pipe cleaners sticking up. This is one of those crafts where you can get really, really creative and make a really fun dragon. But here is my dragon. It's breathing fire. I think this is really, really neat. I enjoyed this craft, and I hope you do too. So that is it for our dragon craft today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all again next week. Bye-bye.